Thank you, everybody. So, quick introduction. We are Laura and Sven. We are senior researchers here at AP University, where we're heading the research lines on game UX design and immersive user research in two research groups, namely Media Design and IT and Immersive Lab. For those of you who want to know more about our XR projects, you can also follow a guided tour tomorrow. So you can still register for that. So some promotion for that. But for our presentation today, we're going to talk about how we're going from game metrics to meaning in our research. It's going to be a very high-level, quick walkthrough of some of the projects that we're working on. We only have 10 minutes, so if you're interested in anything that we're talking about right now, come talk to us. We're here the entire week, basically. And we'll see how we go from there. All right, let's do this. All right, so first of all, a little bit about us both. I'm Laura, I'm an academic researcher. I have been throughout my entire career. I've been at University of Antwerp, Ghent University, and now for the last 5 years I've been working at AP University as an applied researcher, working more with the field. And all of my research revolves around game UX.
Me. So I'm Sven, I'm a former game dev and software developer. At the age of 32 I decided to have a kid and start a PhD, not a good combination. This was at a human-computer interaction department, so it's pretty much UX. Focus was learning analytics, and now I'm trying to do the same thing for games. Okay, so we're academics, so we need to do it all properly and use all the scientific methods, but we are working at the AP University of Applied Science, which means we're in service to the industry, so everything we do is to impact industry, to help you guys. So if there's anything in the slides you see that's of interest, just come talk to us. Also, we're very cheap for user research, if it benefits us both.
Give me this. So one of our specialties is user research. You can see one of our setups over here. We have several labs here where we can do everything from more traditional user tests to experimental research, using surveys, interviews, think-alouds, to using psychophysiological things like, as you can see here, eye tracking and measuring galvanic skin response measures. What we're trying to do is relate these kind of things, eye movements, levels of arousal and so on, to feelings of flow, game performance and things like that. Here you can see one of some of my skills in Elden Ring, so I think that's impressive, no? Up to you.
Thank you. So we have this biometrics data. It keeps going, it's good.
Keeps going.
Yeah, just skip this. Okay, so we have all the biometrics data, right? But now we need the game analytics data. For some reason there's sound as well. We work together with a company called Grid. They're based in Berlin. They're sort of the big player when it comes to data for League of Legends, Counter-Strike and all that. Their APIs allow you to do stuff like video overlays and predictions of match outcomes. So we're trying to figure out how we can combine those, the biometrics data and the data they have. And last year we started the project BEAT, Better Esports Analytics for Teams, where we're trying to use all that data, the biometrics data and the data we get from Grid, from League of Legends, Counter-Strike and other games, to create something new, to sort of figure out how we can help teams, how we can help coaches, how we can help players of these esports games. And as good researchers, of course, we interview all the important people involved, like teams and like companies that are involved in that. There's lots of gaps still, so there's lots of gaps for us to fill. Some teams don't even use any analytics whatsoever, and it's very beneficial for them, actually. Here's an example where we actually hooked up all our tools to a bunch of esports players, a team that was playing for an entire day, gathered all their biometrics, and now we're trying to figure out, what can we do with it? Can we find patterns that are interesting? And we can see, for example, arousal matches some kind of key event sometimes, and that might be beneficial for post-game analysis when teams want to discuss their games.
All right, perfect. Another one of our projects is something entirely different. It's called GLaDOS, which is inspired by you-know-who. And what we're trying to do there is make a practice-oriented framework for game-based learning and development of skills. I've put a lot of thought into that name. And we're working with serious game developers there to give them, we call it a skill tree, to show them or to visualize to them based on existing research and interviews with serious game developers, like which game UX elements actually drive learning effects, such as attitude towards learning, such as learning gain, such as flow. We're also testing and refining this framework. At the moment, we're testing it on existing serious games in a Flemish context. So for instance, with Mine Labs, with Pollinator Park. These are some of the games that we're testing in, like, for instance, a classroom setting with pre-test, post-test experiments. At the moment, we're basically using surveys with reliable, standardized measurements for game UX, and we've come up with our own method and measure to show learning gain that the game produces, and we're trying to relate all of that, and then show in our skill tree to the developers of the game, okay, what is working here, how do they relate to each other, and so on. Then another of our projects in the immersive lab is called Antwerp Underwater. There we're trying to create a VR experience on climate change. So we really want to sensitize people about climate change, and we're trying to do that to put them in a local context, to show them Antwerp and the iconic landmark of Antwerp Central train station that you might know, underwater in the future, but it's a realistic and a scientifically grounded scenario. And we're working together with a tech team, creative team, user research team to set all of this up. And what we're trying to do is also to focus on the feeling of embodiment in that kind of experience. We want to create really a sense of embodiment and try to make people or make the issue more tangible to people, to more emotionally resonant by, for instance, integrating sensory cues, haptics, things like that. We've also tested the effects of sensory versus no sensory cues within our VR experience, and we're now using it to change it up and then finalize it.
Okay, another project we're working on, well, we actually just started, and we're still trying to find people to get involved in that, is called Zonnekind, which is Sunchild, I guess, translated. What we're trying to do is raise awareness for skin cancer and the importance of sunscreen, specifically with kids. So we're trying to create something that will, get them involved in a playful way in actually applying sunscreen. We want to place these things at booths on at the coast or maybe at the zoo or wherever there's a lot of sunshine. We've got students already working on stuff. Also the UV camera, which shows which parts of you are actually already where sunscreen is applied. I think it just keeps going probably. It's not going to stop. It's one of those. Okay, then again, data. So we just started again back to the data. Esports is interesting, but we want to be broader than that. We want to talk about everything games related. We want to help developers with their development as well. So we're looking at a standardized format to actually register all user activities, all user actions. And next year we are starting a new project called
HEART. We do like our abbreviations. With HEART, we want to make a Unity toolkit in which we are going to combine game analytics with psychophysiological data from eye tracking and stuff like that for game developers, so that they can really integrate it into their workflows. And we want to give them some real-time UX insights, not just for research labs and for big AAA studios, but also for small and mid-sized studios. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, if you want to talk about it, if you want to collaborate with us, come talk to us later. Thank you very much.